Please welcome J.R. Gaillot, who is running for commissioner for the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Thanks, sir, for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So this is a department that manages concealed carry licenses. Yes. And there is a striking statement on your campaign website which reads, "Insurance is required for driving a car. We will make it required for concealed carry permits as well." Wouldn't you have to change state statute to do that, or would you do it without changing statute?
There's no requirement to change the state statute. The process is to set up a committee. The committee will make the recommendations.
And the legislature and governor would not need to sign off on a new mandate for liability insurance in order to have the license?
No, they will not.
Where does that stand in terms of the availability of coverage? You can get such coverage through your homeowners or renters policy, but if you don't have such policy, do insurers even offer that in Florida?
No, currently they do not, and that's the beauty of it. The insurance companies, they're a very powerful lobby. So is the NRA. We're not here to take anybody's guns away, but like I said on the website, like you mentioned, you need insurance for your home, for even a golf cart in Florida, but not a gun. It doesn't make any sense. We will let the insurance companies write the legislation. It will create competition, it will create jobs, and it's capitalism at its best.
You said the insurance lobby will write the legislation, but you said it doesn't require legislation in order for you to do it.
No, well, eventually, we expect it to be challenged. We expect it to be challenged and to codify it, so to prevent any further challenges, that's what will happen.
And is it a good idea to have the insurance lobby write the legislation?
Yes.
A lot of lawmakers will say they don't want special interests writing the legislation. They would prefer to do it themselves.
That is true.
You also say that we're getting ripped off at the grocery store, we consumers, we food buyers, from what we're purchasing. And when you say ripped off, do you mean in a criminal way? And if so, if elected as Commissioner of Agriculture, what would you do to stop it?
Sue it. Sue them.
Sue them for what?
For violating the statute. So Pepsi, Nestle, Tyson's Foods, in their quarterly reports, they have publicly admitted that they are shrinking the size of the product.
You're referring to shrinkflation.
Yes.
Now, if they state on the packaging a smaller or lesser weight than what they had before, it's not deceptive and illegal, is it?
No, it is not.
Are they doing that?
The ones we found, we looked at boxes of frozen pizza and bags of chicken. They were not. Unlike a Gatorade bottle that used to say 22 ounces, and now it's 19.8.
So they changed it on the labeling that you can see. Yes. And if they're doing that, that's not deceptive, is it?
No, but the chicken and the frozen pizza we looked at, it's not changing. It's still saying 10 pounds, and it's not weighing 10 pounds.
Have you released the evidence on that?
That's why we wrote the policy the way it is.
Have you posted them? Can we see them?
I don't have them handy right now, but obviously, yes.
Yes, we'll post them online, and we can definitely take a look at it. We have a crisis in Florida of giant invasive snails.
Yes.
We have a thrill ride tragedy in the Orlando area, a listeria crisis in our community. As Commissioner of Agriculture, if elected, what specifically would you do to address each of those problems?
Let's talk about the tragedy, first of all. So what would I do differently? I'm not sure, because I am not privy to certain reports that are not accessible to me right now at this time. So that would have to be considered heavily, what was found. But we want to make sure that every ride, when someone goes to a fair, that every ride is safe, that the safety check process is there, because it's all about protecting the consumers.
What about the other two, the giant snail crisis?
Well, Commissioner Freed is doing an outstanding job tackling that right now. We want to make sure that, we want to know where they're coming from. How are they getting into Florida? Because some of them are not, they're not from Florida. So we will work with the appropriate departments. Sometimes it could be Homeland Security, Immigration, someone bringing them as pet. It could be smuggling. We will do the appropriate investigation and then take necessary actions to eradicate them.
You also are running on the premise that you can increase citrus production. How do you do that with the greening crisis that we have?
Well, I visited a site that under testing with the University of Florida, cups citrus under protective screens. That is scheduled to be scaled up heavily. We're also looking at modification, injecting something into to prevent it from getting diseases. It's not a very popular concept among the public, and I have a meeting next Monday with FIU to go over some of these steps, because you have to pretty much, when you talk about modifying the plant, there's a taboo associated with it. But I learned a lot through this process myself. Because when I first met with them, I said, hey, we want it to be as organic as possible, and it's introducing chemicals, and then they had to show me that it doesn't have cancer-producing agents. It's just preventing the disease. So I'm still learning that part of it. But we are looking into that more.
Jerry Gaillot, thank you so much for your time.
All right, my pleasure.